Welcome, welcome, welcome. In the name of Allah who appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We'd like to thank him for coming, raising from us the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and leaving with us the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And in those three names, I greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Also, we'd like to thank you on behalf of Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad, the National Director of the 10,000 Fearless and the Southern Regional Minister of the Nation of Islam. Thank you, sir, for all your hard work and sacrifice, and it is at his behest that we do all of this, what we do here. So today, get ready. We got a young brother from the ATL. All right. And our brother is going to be running for District 11. Brother has done so much work in the community. He's 10 toes down. He is really a community man. He's a company man, a community man. Yeah. Mr. Keith Lewis Jr.
Hey, yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Brother Reese. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting and coming out, man. So let's get into it, man. Let's find out. Let's find out something about Mr. Keith Lewis.
All right, man. Like you said, born and raised here. I grew up in Perkinson Woods, you know, right off Stewart Avenue, a.k.a. Metropolitan.
Okay. He said Stewart. You know he ATL.
So I grew up over there in the 80s, man. And I guess now as a 45-year-old young brother, you get to see the changes in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. You know, I guess in the introduction for myself, I remember my dad sending me, my mom wanted to send me to Garden Hills Elementary, which was in the Buckhead district.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got
high aspirations.
High aspirations. They put me in that M2M program early.
Come on.
And I remember kindergarten, you know, so some of my early memories was kindergarten in Atlanta, which was 85. I remember I got put out of elementary school, right, for fighting on the playground.
How did you get put out of
elementary school? My dad said it was oppression.
I did too, don't worry.
My dad said it was oppression. You know, my dad said I never wanted to send you up there anyway. And I remember the lady telling my mom he has no respect for authority. And as I grew older, every year she would say that to me. Every time I would get into trouble, she would say, you have no respect for authority. But then as I got older, I realized it was just because I questioned authority. And I think a lot of our young brothers do. You know I have a 19-year-old son now, a 21-year-old daughter, and a 9-year-old son. They're definitely questioning what's right. And, you know, with speaking of that, you know, I definitely want to send prayers up to Trey Reed's family, the brother down in Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
You know, I was, just looking at that story is disheartening. But, you know, I guess for me, I was always shaped by curiosity like that. Like, how is this stuff happening to our people? So as I grew up in Atlanta, you know, I was growing up in Atlanta, East Point, then went to College Park. So I've been all around the city. But I think what shaped me is our culture, to be honest. Okay. You know, I grew up in like 91, right? So you saw Jermaine Dupri first starting to get popular. He discovered Crisscross right down the street at Greenbrier Mall. Those types of incidents made me believe anything can happen, right?
Come on.
When we saw Crisscross, Chris Smith and Chris Kelly, God bless the dead, when we saw him with Michael Jackson. You know, them boys went on tour with Mike, you know. Yeah. And to see that type of growth from someone that was a peer to me, I think I always grew up knowing we can do anything we want to do in this city if we connected with the right people and if we put our best foot forward, you know. So growing up, I would just say, man, I was a young man that never really just did what everyone else did. I always was against the grain. And I think that's kind of what's led me to this point right here. Because in my upbringing, you know, it wouldn't be expected for me to even want to run to be on the seat.
Right.
Yeah. People told me the other day, you know, he said, brothers like you don't get on the ballot, Keith. And that still made me question.
Said that too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he used the other word.
Right. Really?
Yeah, and it just really, it always makes me reflect because I see inspiration for others more than I see a negative connotation to that statement, you know?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Matter of fact, that's one of the things that I really have to salute you on. Is because, and we're going to get more into your story. Yeah. But is the fact that you see politicians and you meet them and you really don't know much about them. They introduce themselves and we might not see them again until next
season,
next voting season, right?
Next voting season.
But I've seen you create your organization. I've seen you feed the community. I mean, you're a community man.
Oh yeah.
That's a little different for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say I don't get into politics because we all are in politics.
We all in it.
Whether you want to be or not,
Facts.
whether you
Yes,
vote
sir.
or not, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or what have you, you're in it.
You in it.
You're in it.
By default.
By default. Right. So, but for me, man, just to see a brother who I know is a real brother.
Yeah.
That changes it for me. And that's I want you to if you have go into that a little bit, going back into to the things that you overcome to get to the point that you want to be on the District 11 Council.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was put out of school from kindergarten. You know, I actually was suspended K through 12 every single year, and I didn't go to college. Hey, I was ready to get out of school. I did not want to go to college because I never trusted that traditional system, man. And I still don't. I feel like the education that we receive a lot of times is so biased to the other side that, like, for me as a black man, I don't even relate to what y'all teaching me. You know what I mean? So I think I kind of was so rebellious in spirit because I didn't have an option. You know, back then it was go to the local public school in your neighborhood. And, you know, it wasn't charter schools. It wasn't private schools. We didn't have our own indigenous schools. You know, it was just different for me. But when I got older and I started serving, you know, so I did a little time in prison, and I started Jump Right Association when I came home. Jump Right Association was to help ex-offenders because as I was in there, a lot of my brothers couldn't speak like me. They didn't have the physical charm as myself that's naturally God-given.
I like the way you put that. I'm using it. I'm letting you know I'm using that.
Yeah, I just, and I didn't look at it from a cocky standpoint. I looked at it from like, man, if it's finna be hard for me out here, it's gonna be extra hard for this brother. Right. So I created a program called Jump Right Association. I was 26. You know, my old parole officer, she saw me on Channel 2. That's when I first started learning how to get into media. And I learned that they want to tell a story, and you got to control your narrative, you know. Come on. So at that time, I was 26, right, fresh out of prison, been shot twice. You know, I had experienced so much because I was just trying to find out how to be successful in life. And then when I started working with all these brothers and my old parole officer became a board member, my old, you know, different people I knew from the legal world became helping me. So I was like, okay, these people will help you if you put yourself in a better position. And I think that's when I really clicked, like, reposition yourself, Keith, change your narrative. Don't come out here doing the same thing. It's kind of like what they saying about Thug. He losing everybody because he coming out doing the same stuff. Yeah. You know, from prison, they say if you don't come back as a Nation of Islam or a 5%, you obviously was playing in that. They say you didn't get what you was supposed to get.
Brother, you didn't use the time properly.
Yeah, you didn't use it. So for me, man, I think what led me to want to get into politics is starting I'm a Father First. You know, I know you mentioned that I serve the community, but my organization is I'm a Father First. And we started with a barbershop with you and 5 other brothers. And that was at Best Academy, right? And that was 2018. And I can remember one of the first seeds that you sold into me that changed my perspective on how I give. It was when we had our first Father-Son Day at Maynard Jackson. Yes, and, you know, of course, we didn't have a budget to do this. And I remember you filled that major void of a DJ person. And I was like, dang, this brother solid. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes to show you how far a little love can go. Because for me to remember something that someone else could consider like whatever, I know it's a love offer.
Huh? I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, didn't even think about it. And that's where I feel like being around people like yourself, it just made me want to have that energy. Like I want to do and not even just hold nothing against nobody. I don't want them to feel like they owe me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, during the pandemic, as you remember, we got this funding. But it all started from the barbershop. We cut over 3,000 heads, you know, every time. I think every Tuesday and Wednesday, you and a few other brothers were there. And it became a place of love in that barbershop. And, you know.
Let me jump in. For a second. Let me tell you something. Now, at the time, this is what attracted me to you and your organization, Brother Jermaine and what have you. At the time, I was a single father. My son was at high school. Yeah. And I'm going through that. I'm going through it.
Yeah.
And brother said, hey man, we have a call every what was it?
Every Tuesday or Thursday.
At 6 a.m.
6 a.m., yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm up. Let go.
Yeah.
And brother, just to have a group of brothers that I could get that off of me, the stuff that I was, you know, I was a single father. I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm like, man, look what y'all going through. What you going through?
Yeah.
Brother, that helped me get through that period. So, man, that's what locked me in with I'm a Father First because I know if it would work for me,
yeah,
and it worked for us.
Yeah, for
But
us.
that needs to be all over the country and world.
And the world. Yeah, no, it's crazy when we think about the humble beginnings, right? Because that phone call, I can remember every morning just getting up at 5:30 and being so excited to talk to brothers. And if I woke up at 5:50, I remember scrambling to make sure I was in position. And I remember it was times we had brothers from Cali on the call. It's 3 in the morning. We had gang members on the call. We had brothers that have just coming home from prison. And they were like, man, whatever these boys putting down in Atlanta, I want to be a part of. So those small grassroots organization things, it really shaped us. You know what I mean? And then now that I'm thinking about it, we're going on 10 years now.
That's what I'm saying.
And then during the pandemic, you know, what we became known for was, you know, feeding all those families. During the pandemic, we fed 250,000 meals. But what was special to me is all the drivers.
You ain't crossed that 250,000 like that. It was just
250,000 meals. Hey, because it's days that I pray for someone to be able to sow into me, to feed me. Yeah. And I can think about that we were able to feed lunch and dinner for at least, I think it was like 250 families. Some families had 10 people in them, 12 people. I remember the drivers delivering back on Gun Club and Hollywood Road. Yeah. And these families are on wood floors in 2021 or 20. And it just really shaped me. But one thing that touched me the most, it was nothing but black fathers helping. Yeah. When we first started, it was men volunteering in their vehicles. And then when we got the funding and got the vans, we were able to hire brothers. So it was brothers who had been there from the beginning. Then I remember we did stuff at the barbershop. We'd be like, well, let's just cook out for them today. You know what I'm saying? Let's put up a tent, bring some music, and let's just vibe with the community. And those things right there, I think, as I'm glad we're having this conversation, because those things take me back to such a OG moment, as my youngest son said. Yeah. My youngest son I said, what is OG, King? He said, nostalgic. And he's 9, y'all. He's 9 years old.
But I'm going to tell you what's crazy. I was listening to you. You were speaking with some of your peers. Yeah. And you said something that really rung a bell. You said, one thing about it, y'all not going to outwork me. Yeah. And when I sat back and I was thinking to myself, I said, you know what? He's right. Yeah. They not going to outwork me.
Not going to outwork.
They can get up there and talk a good talk, but, man, you have put in the work, brother.
Man, yeah. But what's so funny about that is somebody always pushing you harder, right? Yeah. So yesterday I was at Black Man Lab, and my brother Eldridge, you know, when I pulled in the driveway, he said, Councilman. And I'm like, hello. And it's so funny now when people address you as what you're striving to be, because they're speaking life into you. Right. And so when we came in, he shook my hand and he said, hey, bro, he said, you going hard, but you still ain't going to Keith Lewis hard like I know. Yeah. He said, I needed to see more lives. I need to see more stories. Come on. I need to see you showing everything you're doing. And it's funny because as you get older, you know, I'm 45 now. I'm still popping out, right? But the pop out a little different.
I know.
Take a little longer to get it in and out your clothes.
Out like, but okay.
You know, and when your brother, and I'm looking at my brother yesterday, he's lost all his weight from running. He set his goals. And I'm like, man, iron sharpens iron.
That's right.
Because I can remember being 38 years old, a lot pounds lighter, and a lot more energy.
Yes, sir.
But you got to revitalize that because this is a new race. You know what I mean? This is a new race right here. Yeah. So today I was very excited to be here. I was very honored to be your guest, you know, because I know what you put down for our people, you know, and our people need to hear this and be exposed to it.
Yeah, hey, man, I'm going to tell you, man, it's brothers like yourself, man, that make it easy for me to do what I do. I'm a backdrop type of guy. I really, you know, even with the podcast, I'm thankful for the podcast, but I'm really a backdrop type of guy. I don't mind being a number 2.
Yeah, you definitely are low key.
Because I know brothers like yourself, man, when you got it, you got that ball and you running, man, hey, just to say I gave in the assist, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I see what you're doing, changing the landscape of politics. What I mean by that is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us, he said that this generation was born for the Messiah, meaning that the world is changing. Yeah. What part are we going to play? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The politics are old. We see what the politics, the political atmosphere, local and domestic and geopolitical. Yeah. We see what the atmosphere is. It's time for a change. It's time for people who we can put our hands on. Yeah. Now, Minister Farrakhan said that in 10-10-15, when he actually started the 10,000 Fearless, he said that, man, we want people that we can knock on their door. Yeah. Be like, brother, you said you was going to do, and that's the kind of brother I see in you.
Oh, yeah,
I see the type of brother that is approachable. He's not going to, there's a former mayor of Atlanta, I'm not going to say no names, But I told them, they came to the barbershop one time campaigning.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, I bet this is my last time seeing you. Oh, no, you're going to have an open door policy, X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z. Have not seen them
Have
to
not
this
seen
day.
them to this day. Yeah.
Have not seen them to this day. So what I'm saying is I want brothers who I know are not going to let the power
Yeah.
and the finance, because you know they're going to come try. They're going to drop you in the bags.
Yeah.
Don't let that change you. Let you be father first key.
Yeah.
And if you that,
Yeah.
but you're going to be so successful. Bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we did a dinner, and it was the former mayor there as well, and he gave this great story. You know, one thing people learn to do in politics is orate to people's emotions, you know.
Right.
And he gave this spiel around the table. It was so many great brothers there because at this time, I was so intentional about organizing strong black men. And the table had, you know, people that I looked up to, like, you know, Killer Mike and Shaka Zulu, Ludacris's partner, and people who I have admired from afar. But this one politician that was there, he gave the story of Dr. King and Andy Young being such good friends, right? And he said Andy Young called him on his election night, and he said he was in between the two beds because his head was down in the ground. And he was like, he didn't know the number, so he answered it, and he was like, son, this is Andy. And he was like, oh, Ambassador Young, blah, blah, blah. And he talked to him, and he said when Dr. King used to go through stuff, he would call Mahalia Jackson to sing to him at night. So he gave this story, and that brought that same emotion to me, like, wow, can you imagine this man and this woman on a line together totally about keeping each other strong? Then he told me, he said, Keith, I want you to know no matter what, you got a friend in me. Ain't heard from him since.
Oh.
Talk to his brother, but don't talk to him. And it's so interesting because those are the things that make me feel so inspired to be accessible, to be available. And honestly, the attempt for this position, man, has made me so much more approachable because I know there's a certain responsibility on this. Like today, I was just at the gas station and this brother walked up and he asked for some help for gas. And I looked at him, I saw him in his pickup truck, and I said, you know, what's going on? And he was like, me and my wife need some money. We can't move. So I told him I didn't have anything for you, but I would love to pray for you. And we just prayed, man. And he told me how his father passed 2 weeks ago. So, you know, that hurt me. So I ended up having to just really figure out, you know, how can I help this man? And I feel like that's the love that has to happen every day. Because you might not have it in a physical form of currency, but you can pray for this person. Or most importantly, you can hear this person.
Right.
Because sometimes you in your head and don't even ever think anyone acknowledges what you're going through. So I think what I pray for with us is more men being sensitive to each other so we can hear each other's cries that aren't spoken. And then we can actually fill a void for them. And I believe that's the same thing that has to happen in politics, man.
Oh, yeah. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad used the phrase, he said, we must first be brothers.
Yeah.
Beyond all the titles, beyond all the job descriptions. And that's my brother. I want for my brother what I want for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I believe if you go in there with that type of spirit, it's gonna set a fire, and other council persons will do that.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
And I believe that with the community, so we have like 4 weeks before early voting. We have like 4 weeks for early voting. And I really believe that over these next 28 to 30 days, I'm going to intentionally spend my time touching my brothers, because what I want is the same thing I want with my nonprofit. I want a contingency plan in the event of. Right. So regardless of what happens on November 4th with Keith Lewis on the ballot, you know, or even tomorrow, I have a hearing where someone's contesting my residency. So I have to handle that tomorrow. So it's like you're always going to have these little obstacles that's thrown at you on your path, but you have to steadfast. And I always think about the scripture that says, do not grow weary in good doing. Yeah. Because what I'm going through right now, the persecutions and the things that have come behind the scenes, let me know that I'm on the right track. Yes, so I just believe over these next 4 weeks, we're going to really reorganize a lot of brothers, and we're going to have a forward march going on that's going to go beyond this ballot stuff, you know.
Hey, man, that's A1, man. Now I'm going to give you something that I don't want to call him my mentor, but my big brother, Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad, he always tells us that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told him, patience, long suffering, and take plenty. If you can do that, you can make it in black folk business. You can make it in this if you can be patient with us, take a lot, and be and stay on your line, man. Now, I
Yeah.
promise you, you're gonna be all right. Cause we got your back.
Yes, sir.
We
Nah,
got your
that,
back.
that I do know.
Yeah, we got your back. Long as you stay the line, bro, we're gonna help you toe the
Yes,
line.
sir. Yeah, now what's been really empowering for me is the people like yourself that are supported. You know, I think it's safe to say that I've probably done the most of any candidate on the ballot that's tangible. And then I can also pretty much factually state I've raised the least. But I don't look at that as a shot to the support of Keith.
Right.
I look at it as to my circle. We have to empower each other.
Right.
Because there's brothers I would love to give to right now, but I'm not in a position to do so. So we must elevate each other in some kind of way through supporting each other's business. It's like my friend told me today. She said it costs you nothing to shout out your big friend's business.
Come on, man.
It costs you nothing to share your friend's business. And what the brother told me, the homeless brother that was going through those struggles, he said, Keith, if we had a way where people can support each other in our businesses, we can fund ourselves and we wouldn't have to be so dependent on others. So I think right now we have to continue the movement that's already been started to empower each other, man, because so many brothers and sisters out here pushing their line, and every night they go home drained because they just don't know where it's going to come from. But I believe if we give a little glimmer of hope to people every day, a little bit, just every single day, it's going to go into a continuous flow like a river, you know?
Yes, sir. All right, so let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
So where were you at? What was the thought? What led you to say, man, you know what? I think I'm gonna go on and get on the ballot.
Yeah.
What pushed that idea?
Man, it was when I was living in my truck homeless in Miami.
Good, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember I was talking to Dr. Karstoffen. She's the former APS superintendent that she stamped me from day one, and she's what led us to a lot of funding. Okay. I used to talk to her, and my phone was off and everything, so I used to talk to people on my when you're on the Wi-Fi or whatever. So I called her, and I said, Doc, what do I need to do to get back in the game? And she said, you first need to write a 5-year plan down. And it was so hard because, you know, for me, my brain was jumping to so many parallels and verticals. But when I finally got that plan together, the first plan was to come back. The second was to be a fellow in the Center for Civic Innovation. I did that. That was a 6-month fellowship. And the guy that's over there, he's now running for city council president. Then it was to join Leadership Atlanta. I didn't end up doing that cohort because I fumbled the ball because I was still in my head. I got nominated, so I got part of the process, but I didn't complete that. But the next goal was to then run for city council. So I spent 2 years from 2022 to 2024 rebuilding my network, rebuilding my mental health, rebuilding myself because, you know, going through my mental health challenges, I gained 60 pounds. I lost whatever you can consider to be everything, which is really nothing to me. Those are all, you know, they're things. But I had to get my confidence and my swagger back to move back around Atlanta, you know, now having a belly and now having a couple more grades than I had.
Yes, sir.
But what happened was I put together that 5-year plan. I stuck to it, even with the derail of that Lead Atlanta not happening, because that haunted me for a moment because I was nominated. All I had to do was do the application, and I didn't follow through right there. So I'm still on myself for accountability. But then when this came, even with these challenges now, man, you should have seen me qualifying an hour before qualification was over. And the man told me when I was about to walk out, the brother that worked in there for the city, he said, Mr. Lewis, some things are meant. And I took that as an omen for me. Yeah. When I walked up out of there, man, I felt like $1 million from a brother that had been put out of school, that had been shot twice, that had been incarcerated when his first child was born. I knew that God was real in my life me being able to move through these mountains that I'm moving through. And it's really only set me up for something that's way bigger.
Way big. And see, Keith, that's for me. I love that bounce back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all right to get knocked down. I mean, if you're a fighter, man, fighters get knocked down.
You got to get back up.
You can still win the fight.
Man, for real.
You can still win the fight.
And that's where I'm at right now. Like, it's a balance between managing expectations for a vote or a candidacy, but most importantly, looking at how do I look at this elevated platform to continue to push the line of helping our people. That's really the biggest goal for me because, honestly, this is for motivation, but the organization is for us to be able to allow each other to uplift each other, empower each other, and not feel like we have to go to any type of elected official to sustain ourselves. So, yeah, just interdependency is the biggest goal for me with this campaign right now.
Man, bro, that is all right. So let me ask you this, because again, I met you through Father First.
Yeah.
Right. How do your children feel about you being on the ballot? How do your family,
Man.
not just your children, but your family? How your family feel about you being on the ballot?
Well, you know, they're so excited. You know, but your family are your first people that you got to prove.
Right.
You know what I
See
mean?
them
So
first.
they want to see because they know you.
Yeah.
You know, and my pastor told me a couple weeks ago. He said, "Man, you don't have to say this to your daddy, but I'm saying it now. Hey, Dad." He said, "Your father is proud of you." They were putting together a banner at church for Women's Day. My mom was co-chair at Women's Day Sunday. They were putting the banner up, and he said, "Man, your dad was just gloating talking about you." And anybody that knows me knows that my biggest desire is to make Keith Lewis Sr. happy.
Come on.
Because Deborah Lewis always good with her boy. I could be in prison spitting on somebody. That vow, okay? And Deborah Lewis gonna say, "Baby, why did you do that? But you my baby." But Keith Lewis Sr., he gonna hold you to that bar.
Come on, man.
And my whole life, I've always felt, you know, and I unpacked this honestly through my therapy sessions.
Okay.
That I was always desiring his approval. And it makes sense why I'm so passionate about Father First.
Right.
Because all I want is young men to make their father proud. But most importantly, in this time, I want fathers to make their children proud. It's too many people running away from responsibilities.
Yeah.
I need those people to stand up, but while they're getting weak standing, I need you to know I'm behind you.
Yeah.
So for me, man, my family, excited. They were super excited. They were also very, very proud, but they were also scared of what mud would be thrown my way. But the beauty about being such a transparent person, you really can't say too much about me that I haven't even just said in this 30 minutes.
Right. I was like, okay, yes, sir.
So, you know, they were proud. But then back to the children, man, that's the best feeling. Because my son is 19. My 9-year-old, he doesn't really understand what's going on, of course. But it lets me know that the setup is greater because his older brother and sister be able to be like, "Oh yeah, Pop's been doing this since you was a baby."
Right.
Because like King has seen me with I'm a Father First since before he was even born.
Right.
So that's a legacy. And then Keandre, that's my heart. My 19-year-old son, he reminds me so much of me. Because he's just out of high school now and trying to figure out his way. And I hold him every day. Like, son, whatever we got to do, we going to figure this thing out with me, you, God, and Chat GPT.
Come on, man.
So, you know, the kids, they're super excited. And then lastly, my oldest, my baby girl, she's in Paris doing her thing. So she's inspiring me. My daughter saved up her own money. She got enrolled in this study abroad thing.
Okay.
And, man, I remember, just like me running for city council, when she told us that's what she wanted to do, I had no doubt that she wasn't going to get it done.
Come on, man.
But she walked down the whole process. She found the instructor that's over it. She filled out her application. She got her referrals. She joined AKA so she can have a sisterhood of people. She's just moved in a way where she say, "Daddy, I've seen you hustle nonstop my whole life."
I was just about to say, I wonder where she got that
Hey,
from.
man, she got it honest.
Yes, sir.
And our children make us realize our treasure isn't quantified in things at all.
Right.
It's how you see them. Like you was just talking about spending time with your baby girl.
Yes, sir.
That's the most beautiful thing, man, when you get to see your loins produced in an adult.
Right.
A child is one thing. But an adult is like,
That's
wow,
different-
you can
that's a
kind of
different feeling,
see if it's
different
making
vibe.
sense what you've been inputting in this child.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. But and the reason why I brought. Okay, so one of the things that I have been watching you because I'm a people watcher.
Yeah.
I watch people,
Yeah, me too.
and I saw you out on the campaign. Everything that you have been a part of, I have seen your children a part of.
Oh, yeah.
And brother, when a man, children follow him, that say a lot about that man. So I'm saying to you, brother, man, you got a great crop of children, and I can't wait to see what they manifest.
Man, seriously.
Because I promise you, man, everything you do, I said, man, I'm a king first.
Yeah, I'm a king first.
I'm a king first.
King FaceTime me Saturday with his suit on. He had on his white shirt and his pants.
Yeah.
And he just dancing in the camera. And I'm like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Dad." And I'm like, "You look incredible, son."
Yes,
And he's
sir.
like, "Thank you." And he started
campaigning.
dancing. And it just let me know because what he told me is he said, "Dad, can you get me another suit? I like wearing suits." And I was like, "You got an event coming up?" And he was like, "No." And again, he's 9. But my dad had told me, man, when he was around 2, he was like, "Son, I've watched you raise 2 other ones. This one is different."
Yeah.
And to say that when I have a daughter that's in Paris and a son that's been on Disney,
Come on, man.
my youngest son is different. that lets you know that the sky is not the limit for this brother.
Keep going.
So yeah, man, being with them, because anybody knows me, when I went through my mental health and I went to Miami, it was because I was being alienated from my children. And I felt so hurt because in all the public rants I was doing, I don't feel, because I'm sure someone did, I don't feel I was sat down to understand what are you feeling right now. So but I probably wasn't in the position to receive it either. But I'm grateful because once I got healing through isolation, then I went through my own therapy process and my own self-healing. And right now, man, I don't even really talk to a lot of people when I'm not out doing what I'm doing.
Really?
Like I literally, before coming here, I'm just sitting at the house, just waiting on the time to leave. When before it was crowds of people around you.
Right.
And it's allowed me to really be able to detach from public opinion and more so focus on what I'm looking to heal and actually reveal to the world. Instead of just being just so available and people just use you up. Then when you burn out, you don't have the resources you really need to get there. So, yeah, my children being with me right now, everything is fine for me.
Question for you. Who are some of your political politicians that you look up to? Who are some of the politicians you've seen in the past that you kind of would, I don't want you to say pattern yourself after, but some of the heroes that you've seen go before you that you can use?
I mean, the only person that comes to my mind is that brother that was a city councilman in Michigan. I don't remember his name, but he just passed recently. And that was only because once he passed, they honor you when you're gone. And he had so many sound bites where he just was not with it. Right. And then, of course, Maxine Waters, she definitely ain't going. Yeah. So it's people like that. It's a lady, I can't remember her name because, again, I'm new in this space, so I can't say I've patterned after anyone. But I have been studying because even as the brother that was assassinated last week, who were named Nameless, it gave me a courage to fight for what I believe in.
Right,
because if the oppressors can stand up so boldly, why can't I stand up in truth?
Talk that talk.
So, for me, what I've been noticing, and that's just how I work in life.
Yeah.
I more so look at people who people are ostracizing because, like, even when we got all that funding, what I did is I connected with the Shugs and the Big U's and the brothers that were ostracized but accepted to a certain degree.
Right.
Because I wanted to understand, how does it feel? I didn't want to judge you. I don't care about what you did in 94. That doesn't have anything to do with me.
Today.
But I want to understand how people that are called to be leaders, that are ostracized because of the difficult decisions you must make as a leader, how do you navigate through that terrain? So I can't say there's a politician I model after. I really haven't gained trust in those types of individuals, honestly. Where I'm at, though, is I want to set a standard for what's to happen in the future. Yes. I want my son to be able to say, I don't want any young black man to say I'm not involved in politics. Just like what you said, we're in it by default. Man, when that food supply shut off, when our babies are not vaccinated, or they're getting vaccinated and they're making them sick, man, when all this type of stuff happens, you got to know what's going on, and you got to know how to follow where the money goes, because people talk about it. But the money works so weird. Like, even when those people gave us that $1 million, bro, I was able to track them. Like, even with the Ford truck I drive right now, we were initially given vehicles by Mercedes to do the food deliverance. They were just going to, let you use them. But what happened is the funder called and said, we're American built. We don't use German vehicles. And for me, all I was thinking is, you gonna mess up my Sprinter truck? Oh. But what he did was he called his ally and he went to that Ford. Well, I went to the Ford dealership and 4 vehicles was already paid for in cash. And literally what that showed me is friends don't ask for discounts from each other. Now, if they offer it to you, that's another thing. Sir. And when they got millions of dollars, we can't compare ourselves to that. But what I saw was a loyalty. So we don't care about who's giving him something. We're willing to pay for something to stand on this. Right. So I honestly look at these situations in life and say, man, okay, you can look at it like everybody meant to be bought, or you can look at it as everything's for sale. Right. I feel like everything is for sale. So we got to do our part to go in and get it.
Hey, but I'm going to tell you like this, man. This is what people don't realize. If you don't have somebody in the room, you'll never know what's going on.
You'll never know.
And all of this is happening. We got to have people, and man, in every walk of life.
Yes, sir.
And if somebody has the wherewithal to sit there and deal on our behalf, we need to back them.
You need to back them.
We need to back them, man. I remember back in 1995, we were doing the Million Man March.
Yeah.
And Marion Barry had just not too long gone through what he went through.
Yeah.
But I said, here's a man who was so stand up about his business.
Yeah.
He could get caught in a scandal, and the people say, we don't even care.
We don't even care.
We want him back because he stood for us.
Yeah.
When you see that, man,
you can't knock it.
You can't knock it. So that's what I'm saying. I, with this new turn of politics, this new turn and this new wave of people of freedom fighters, because that's really what it boiled down to. You can call it a politician, but at the end of the day, it's really a freedom fighter.
Yeah, like even last week, I have a new associate that I've met on this trail, and she works in policy, so that kind of was intimidating for me because that's what I've been having to learn. But to me, policy is nothing but a set of rules that have a budget to them, you know?
Right.
But like literally, she's a Harvard grad, all these accolades, and I was wondering how she was going to take to me. Man, she's been one of my biggest low-key supporters right now. And she's come to my forum, she's watched these interviews, and she's like, Keith, she came from D.C., and she was like, Keith, you remind me of a modern-day Marion Barry.
Yeah.
She was like, you literally are open about what you're going through. And you actually tell people up front, but you stand on business every day. And she said, I see your heart more than anything. Yeah. So God will send you those little subtle angels along the way and let you know, keep going, soldier, keep going. So that's where I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling powerful. But even as we sitting here talking, I'm thinking about how can I actually continue the mission of organizing black fathers to be present in their homes, aside from any election, aside from any funding, but just in a fundamental sound of thinking.
Oh, yeah, bro. Well, I'm going to tell you, man, that spirit of conquer, that spirit of conquest is in you, and it is contagious. Yes, so don't stop being you.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, don't stop being yourself. Accept your own, be yourself, and, man, let God do the rest, man. Let him
God gonna do the rest.
He gonna push the line. All we got to do is show up, man. But like what that song said, all you got to do is stand.
All you got to do is stand.
All you got to do is stand, Keith, man. It's going to be all right, man. I promise you, bro. You have been one of the brothers. I mean, you don't know. Just like I brought up about your children looking up to you. You come to that barbershop, you don't know who's listening.
Yeah.
You don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
And they see a brother go from their block.
Yeah.
To on the ballot.
Yeah.
Oh man, brother, you don't let the genie out the bottle.
Yeah, and that's really what it's all about for me, because I look at it like this, bro. Like if we get through this, now we got to get on to the next thing. And with the next thing usually takes, especially in a city like Atlanta, it takes a movement. You know, it takes brothers buying into what's happening. Because, you can start something alone, but it don't go deep and far unless you have a brotherhood with you. So it's like that old statement, say you want to go quick, go alone. You want to go far, go together. Where I'm at right now is if I can use the courage of healing and the courage of transparency to actually elevate what we got to do, then that's worth it to me. You know, sometimes somebody got to be a sacrificial lamb, and I've usually signed up for that role.
Say for some reason or another, I always seem to be out front. Do it. Send me, Lord. I'm that baby's pappy.
I'm that baby's pappy.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man.
So it's definitely exciting to see the change in the energy in our community. You know, when I had to do the interview for Fox 5 about my residency, you know, the older lady next door used to be Jermaine's mom's best friend 25 years ago. And Miss Brown, she saw me yesterday morning, and she was like, hey, baby, I saw you on that news. She said, keep fighting. Is my sign still out there? I said, yes, ma'am. And this lady, 90-something years old.
And don't sleep, Miss Brown is a powerhouse.
Miss Brown is a powerhouse. Oh, you know Miss Brown?
I know Miss Brown.
Oh, yeah.
She get it done. And she one of the people who be like, she make a phone call, things happen. So that's good stuff, man.
And that's what she's been on. And it's taught me so much, because power doesn't have to move loud.
It don't.
You know, it usually moves very silent in certain spaces where it can actually be echoed a lot further. So I've been learning, man, it's not about Keith being put out in front of people. It's about me being resourceful to people, and then that love gonna exchange, and somebody gonna tell somebody what somebody is doing. And you know, they always say bad news travel fast. I think that's a negative thought process. For me, I want to look at it like, how can good news travel fast? You know, Brother Barry last night giving me the final call every Monday. That's consistency.
Consistent.
Hey, and brothers who might have never touched a final call gonna get one because of Brother Barry.
I told B the hardest working man in show business.
What?
It's a fact.
The
man.
hardest working.
This
Oh
is the
yeah,
hardest
you
working
can't
man in the show
outwork
business.
him.
That's my
Hey, he
man.
made me move my truck last night. He said, "You know we parking in the front now, brother. I ain't trying to act like I was somebody special." I said, "Yes, sir." And parked to the front. Then at the end of the night, everybody was congregating in the back. I said, "B, you do your job, just play."
That's my brother, man. Shout out
Yeah,
Brother
but-
Barry, 10K all day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, man, as we wrap up,
Yes, sir.
Two things. I want you to tell people how to get in contact with you, how they can support you, how they can whatever they need to do to get on
Yeah.
this train, man.
Yeah, well, the website is www.keithlewis4ATL, FOR, but then the IG is Keith Lewis 4, the number 4 ATL. So those are the websites and the Instagrams, but directly, man, I would love for people to call me. My number is 470-698-5084, 470-698-5084. What I've gained from this is, as I focus on my platform, people say, Keith, what is your platform? Food insecurity, because it came from us delivering over 300,000 meals of love to our community. And I saw the smiles every day and the people that to this day, 5 years later, say, I don't know how I would have made it through the pandemic without I'm a Father First and Meals of Love. Then the next thing is access to equitable education. We've mentored in these schools for years, but what I see is a lot of children coming out still under-equipped for life. So what we have to do is create programs, which means funding. We have to have resources for these, not only the families, but teachers and families. We're starting to do a lot of cross-counseling where the families are getting counseling as a whole. Because a lot of times the kid may get support at the school, but may not get it from, as a joint with the family. Then, nextly, we've been focusing on public safety, as you and I have stood so many times, with the murders. I remember at Atlantic Station when that happened to be one of my friend's children. And, man, I haven't been the same since. Last year, I lost two of my mentees, Raquavius and Ken Collier Jr. So, long live Rock and long live Fat. The final thing that really made me say I'm going to do this is losing them, bro. Like, when their mothers call me and their fathers call me and they say, bro, we need you, nothing else that any outside force says matter. But what I do know is, guys, we have to change the narrative in our community. We can't keep killing each other. We can't keep resorting to violence every time there's a disagreement. And like one of my brothers told me, we have to learn how to have healthy disagreements. You're never going to agree with someone all the time. If you do, somebody's lying. So I want people to learn how to accept what another man or woman's opinions are and be able to receive it. And even if it's not coming in love, you meet it with love. So for me, I think public safety, access to affordable education, food insecurities, those are the platforms, but the pillars of my heart are always the same. I need my families and my brothers to come together to be able to help restore our communities. So my goal is for us to have a safer Atlanta. My tagline, as they say, is putting Atlanta families first. But at the end of the day, I hope even after this campaign, people feel free to reach out to Keith Lewis and I'm a Father First. And this time around, we have way more men involved, and we're consistent in our doings for our community. So we're going to heal our hood one way or another.
Well, man, I have to say on behalf of the 10,000 Fearless, I have to say thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you for
and,
having
hey,
me.
man, my phone rang 24 hours. Come on with it. Whatever
Yes,
you
sir.
need
Come
for us
on
to
with
do,
it.
man. We boots on the ground. We're going to be there. We're going to help out.
And that's what I thank for you, man. You always have shown me how to lead a lot more humbly.
All praise.
I like I said, I remember someone told me, don't go to the other barber no more. He seemed like he got too much personal issues and his light ain't right. And she said, it sounds like you receive a lot of wisdom and comfort and safety from this brother Richard. So, from once she told me that about 6 years ago, I've always been consistent in coming to you because I look at you as my therapist as well.
Hey, man, hey, you my brother. I want for my brother.
What I want for myself.
And I try to live that. That's real, man. And what we going to do, brother, win, lose, or draw, the campaign don't mean we're going to stop doing what we do.
Facts.
So, man, in my eyes, you already won, man.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully we'll be celebrating and, you know what I'm saying,
partaking in the new office.
Lewis, you know
new
what I'm
office.
saying?
We need a new office at 55 Trinity.
Indeed. So thank you so much, big brother. You can always come here at the Arc on Campbellton Road. You can give us a donation at 10 National 10K Fearless. National 10K Fearless. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Hey. Thank you.
It's your brother, Rashad Sharif Muhammad, host of the National 10,000 Fearless podcast. And we'd like you to like, share, and subscribe. Also, check us out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m.